Wow, so we're back again, round three, and the last round of today. Let me wait for a few people. Yeah, so we're back again. Round three, and the last round for today. I'm gonna type the topic, then we'll commence immediately. Yeah, guys. So if you guys have questions, know that okay. Sure, it's always like a Q&A session. My window is open, so excuse me for that. I already invited Justin, so to all the people, the last session is always like a Q&A session. So if you have any questions, drop them underneath or drop them in the comment box so we can have a dialogue about it. And we also did a whole series on this exact topic on SoundCloud. 4 parts was the series. You can find it there. And we did another separate show called Demons and Satan, I believe, also found on the SoundCloud. So head there. You'll be able to find all the shows. So, Brother Justice, we were
Do you see
talking.
me? Because I think my screen is, I don't see anything here, but you see me?
Yeah, I'm seeing you and I hear you also.
Or maybe you send a request because, you
Okay.
send it because I send this one.
Yes. Let me try to send it. Technological things.
Yes.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we were talking about, I believe we ended on, let's say, what Satan is supposed to do, if I'm correct, and what he does and what his duty is, right?
Yeah.
Because you said that he's kind of like a servant. Based on what you said, it seems as if he's not an enemy of Elohim. That's how it looks like when you are talking. Is that true?
So the thing is, it is something that we will have to really, I'm choosing my words very careful because
Mm.
people who are listening, many people, they have their own level
Yeah.
of understanding. Um, but the question that I want to ask you is, someone you claim that you
Mm,
can bind,
mm,
right?
mm.
When the scripture said that, and Satan went to the Messiah, why did the Messiah not bind him?
Yeah, Matthew 4. Mm.
But they were having a conversation, and he
Dialogue.
did not cast him. He did not. You cannot, and that's why Christian. That's why I said that sin keeps increasing in the church because we do not know the duty of Satan. We do not know the duty of the demons. So
Mm,
we begin to say all manner of things. Someone you are trying to bind,
mm.
and according to the Christian, they bind him through the name of the Messiah. But the
Every day.
Messiah through whom you are binding was just standing there with him,
Not
having a
binding.
coffee drink, having a conversation, and he did
Mm.
not bind him. You cannot bind him. So that's neither can you pray against him.
Ah, you can't pray against the devil.
So from Genesis to Revelation, who prayed against Satan?
Mm.
If anyone can show me, I'll stop preaching. Genesis to Revelation, who prayed against him? How
Who
can
prayed against him?
that's why the book of Jude says that we are resisting dominion and certain principalities that Elohim he has set.
Mm.
Elohim himself told Satan, go and place sickness on Job.
Mm.
And then before healing came, Elohim did not cast out Satan from Job.
Mm.
The scripture just said that and Elohim changed what? The things around Job. That's
Yeah.
how it works. Elohim is the judge. If you are given to the let's say the police officers to imprison you, you don't get your freedom from the police officers. You get it from the judge. So once the judge tomorrow decides, oh, okay, now we have changed our mind, release him. The police officers have nothing to say but to release you. That's how it works. So there are authorities, there are principalities, there are dominions. One does not cross the other. That's why I told you. So the devil or whatever you call, or even the fallen angels, some of you who have read the book of about the fallen angels. There are many fallen angels, even though they are fallen, they are stronger than some of the angels who stand in the presence of Elohim. Why? Because they were created that way. For example, look at Mike Tyson. The guy, we can say he has fallen because he fell from whatever, but the guy is 50 something years. He can still beat a lot of us.
Box you quick.
So the fact that he is down in terms of, let's say, heavyweight, doesn't mean that if we place you in front of Mike Tyson that you can stand there within 1 minute, he will kill you. So if you don't know that, then what you will do is that you will cross the line.
So are you saying that when it comes to the devil, or what people call Satan, or whatever they call him, and demons and evil spirits, right, that they all have a certain, I won't say rank, or certain authority and a duty given to them by Elohim, and does that mean that their duty is only to interfere in our lives once we cross the border of Elohim, or once we break certain commands of Elohim? That's the only way those demons interfere, or let's say Satan interferes in the lives of, let's say, believers.
So Job was tested, right? Abraham was also tested. How many of the other believers were tested?
Like that? None, I believe.
So when it comes to their operation, it depends. You see, we have reached a point whereby, for example, in the beginning in the paradise, right? You had the presence of Elohim there. So for you to you cannot be in the paradise and you become, let's say, addicted to, let's say, fornication or to drunkenness. Why? Because you are in the presence of something which is righteous, right? In this world, we are placed in a box whereby evil is around us. So once you are born, your eyes pop open, the television is there. It's now going to train you. You'll begin to hear stuff. It will train you. And then you begin to grow up. And then all of a sudden you go to school, and during, let's say, the break, you have maybe some of your friends. All of a sudden you will see that one person will bring maybe a cigarette. Hey, have you never smoked? Try it. And you are like, no, I don't want it. Before you know, you will not do it. Then the next day, it continues. And as long as you are still hanging with the same people, it's not going to change, because the guy is a smoker. So you will end up either joining him or you will have to flee from him. So the scripture said, resist the devil and he will do what? He will flee from you.
Yeah.
This is what the Messiah did. He resisted him.
So How
Because the devil, when he comes to you, he doesn't come and tell you, hey, go and fornicate, because if you fornicate, you will go to hell. He comes through the word of Elohim.
he comes through the word.
Through the word of Elohim, but the end thereof is to mislead you. So when access was given him to tempt Eve, what did the devil do? So the devil went to Eve and asked Eve a question. What did Elohim command you not to do?
Not eat of the tree.
And Eve said, oh, Elohim said, as for this tree, we cannot touch. For the day that we will touch, we will die. What did the devil do? Oh, really? But you will not really die. Did he not tell the truth? When they ate the fruit, did they die that day?
No.
So he tricks you through the word of Elohim. So all of a sudden, all the things he told the woman, that once you eat it, your eyes will be open. Her eyes indeed opened. And the woman did not die. And she was like, whoa. So now was Elohim lying to me? But Elohim was talking about eternal life.
Yeah.
So the devil always comes through the word of Elohim. So when he went to the Messiah, he said that, you are so hungry. But the scripture said that he will give you power to turn these stones into bread. The Messiah on his own could have turned the stones into bread, and it will not be a sin. But once, if he had listened to the voice of the devil, then it means that now you now receive your commandments from the devil and not that of Elohim. Then it becomes a sin. Because the Messiah, when they brought the 5 loaves, miraculously could turn it into what?
Bread.
Into thousands of bread. So multiplying things or turning things into even water into wine, he could have done it. But as long as the voice was coming from what? The devil, he could not.
But how do you distinguish that? How do you distinguish between, okay, how, like, based on this, right, how would we know whether we are, let's say, tempted, or whether this is the voice of the devil? Because as you said in one of your examples, sometimes people go to church who have committed a sin and the pastor says you were possessed by the devil, right? How would we now be able to distinguish between, okay, this is the voice, let's say, of a devil, of a demon, of a devil, of Satan, whatever, and this is a good voice of, let's say, the Holy Spirit? How do you distinguish between that?
Anyone who committed sin would have not committed sin because you were possessed by the devil. You committed sin because of the things around you where you found yourself. You like, let's say, ganja. If you are placed in, let's say, Saudi Arabia, where in Mecca, the city Mecca, where you have no access to ganja, what will you do? You cannot commit the sin of ganja. Why? Because you don't have access to ganja there. So if you go to church, because if, like most of you who have repented, none of you, I did not sit down with any of you or stretch forth my hands and say, oh, be loosed, and now you are doing this, and then the so-called sin. It doesn't work like that. The Messiah met 12 disciples. They were righteous when he met them? No. Did he place his hands on them and say that, oh, go away from them so that they can follow me? No. Evil is found within all of us. And good is also found within all of us. Depending on where you find yourself, either the good will speak or the evil will speak. So the Messiah, all of a sudden, one day, Peter spoke something which was the voice of the enemy.
Mm.
And the Messiah looked at him. And the scripture said that he rebuked who? He did not rebuke the devil, he rebuked Peter, saying that get thee behind me, who? Satan. For the things you are saying right now is not of Elohim. So
he called
in order,
Satan.
the devil, he called him the devil, Peter. But it is the same Peter upon whom he said that I will establish my church. So there is evil in all of us and there is good in all of us, depending on what you feed your body with will determine what your next action will be. So you cannot go into the church and you fornicated and someone comes, oh, let's rebuke the devil from him. No, you are not rebuking the devil. The guy has committed sin. You have to sit him down and let him know that what he has done, he has committed sin, and then show him the way. It's not easy. That's why from Genesis to Revelation, there was not one time an angel of Elohim came or a prophet was sent. Look at this. The whole Old Testament, there was not one event that a prophet was sent to go into the house of any person to tell them that I'm now going to deliver you from the hands of the devil. It doesn't exist.
And to, let's say, like to go a bit to the conclusion of one phenomenon that I've really also seen in a lot of instances is something that, let's say, also I think in the beginning with someone we spoke about it briefly, but things like spiritual marriage, for example, because also referencing back to the show that we did, I think in 2015, we also spoke a bit about it. We called it, I believe, spiritual fornication and spiritual marriage. What is the deal with that? Because sometimes people see it as once you commit, let's say, the act in real life, physically, you sin by fornicating and stuff like that. Usually that is something that establishes spiritual marriages and everything that's attached to that. So how does that work?
We can call it, I choose not to call it marriage because marriage is something that is established by Elohim only.
Yeah.
So we call it fornication. It is something, it started from somewhere. It either you were addicted to, what is it called? Pornography and masturbation. That's where it started from. And then you take it into your dream. Because that which you see and hear is that which you will also continue to see and hear in your dream. That's how it works. Your dreams are influenced by the things you see and hear before you go to sleep. It is influenced by your belief system. So once you become addicted to pornography, you take them into dreams. And then you have wet dreams and stuff. Not all of them are linked. That's why most of you, when I sat down with you, most of the time it becomes because of our rebellion, because of our disobedience, Elohim allows those things to take over us. Because we keep watching them. For example, if a woman accepts that, hey, as for me, I'm going to be a prostitute, then what you have told Elohim is that I don't want anything from you. I don't want your spirit. So such people, all of them, Elohim will place demons on them. Why? Because they've rejected the ordinance of Elohim. So if you go and lay with such a person, and all the sins that we commit, they are what? Without the body, but he who commits fornication, they sin against their own soul because it is true intimacy. Then that demon, which is placed upon them by Elohim, should come upon you. So most of the people, you got those dreams because you were sleeping around with people, you slept with a girl or a boy, or you were watching pornography and stuff. So once you begin to have such dreams, then you have to identify where it is coming from, whether you have had intercourse with certain ladies, or if you were someone who was addicted to pornography, then we can start from there and determine what is your problem. But no one can be like, oh, loose and go, you are now free. No, it takes time. Because it is here. It will have to be erased 100% before that thing can go. And most of the times also, it is because of sickness.
Sickness?
One day, one of these days we have that maybe we'll talk about it when it comes to those things. The way Elohim speaks with us in dreams is different. That's why he said that when it comes to Moshe, I speak to him mouth to mouth and not in symbols. 99.9% of the people, Elohim speaks to them through symbols. He uses certain things to frighten you for you to become aware that there is something is wrong somewhere. It doesn't mean that it is really true that there was a demon chasing you in your dream or a beast or something, but it is showing you something that, hey, for example, let me give you an indication. Someone dreams, for example, that someone shot at him, right? And then you wake up and you look at the place where you were shot at. Some people will have, maybe there's a mark, all of them, there's a mark there. And then the next thing they do is they are now going to go to a pastor who pray for me. It's not a demon, there is a sickness coming. So what Elohim is trying to tell you is that there's the sickness that is coming. The end result will be like when a person has been, it will be like when a person has been shot with a gun. So he's now warning you so that you will begin to go and check what is wrong there. And if necessary, apply certain medication or change the way you eat. But many of the people, they'll go and they'll be praying and praying, and then the thing becomes bigger and bigger and bigger, and then, whoa, let's go to the hospital. They will have cancer. And cancer, what is the end thereof? That body will be what? Will be dead. The same as when you were, if someone had shot at you. So Elohim speaks in symbols. If you are lucky and you are close with him, then he does not use those things, but it is in plain language, like Moshe.
But how do you distinguish, like, because this is something that for many people, and even for me the first time I heard this perspective, it is something that you have never heard before. Usually we link those things with attached evil things and demons and whatever. So how do you distinguish between the symbolism in a certain dream? How is there a way that you can, let's say, make dreams a little bit more clear for yourself?
To make it clear for yourself, that's why Elohim said, I will give you pastors according to my heart, because it is very difficult. It is very difficult for you have certain wisdom or knowledge concerning something you've never heard before. Unfortunately for us, where we find ourselves, whatever you encounter, they link it with the devil. And look at it very carefully. Because of that, in the church, when you go to the church, the gathering, most Christians, they have pressure, they have diabetes, they have hypertension. All kinds of sicknesses are found where? In the church. Why? They saw it in their dream. Instead of them to change what they are eating or to go and do a body scan or whatever and check the source so that you can treat it. Now you are going to battle a demon. So they keep on battling a demon, and then all of a sudden you hear, gone too soon. He died as a result of cancer. He had diabetes. He had pressure. So you will have to be taught these things. But unfortunately for us, we find ourselves in an atmosphere whereby everything is like, it's the devil did it. So we are in the churches, we bind Lucifer, and Lucifer is the devil. And we read the book of what is it called? Isaiah 14, and people have time to Lucifer, I bind you. But Lucifer simply means bright morning star.
Light bearer.
A light bearer. When you have time, that is the Latin word. When you have time and you read the book of Revelations 2, verse 28, Elohim said that I will give you what? The bright morning star, meaning I will give you Lucifer. The same as Revelations 22, verse 16. The Messiah said that I am what? The bright morning star. But if you don't know these things, what do? You stand in the church with your pastor, I bind Lucifer. But the word Lucifer simply means bright morning star, brightness, a star that will be bright. When you have them, you read the book of Daniel. Daniel says that, and many of you who are able to turn many unto righteousness, they will what? They will shine like a star. It's the same thing. But because we don't have the understanding, we think that when the scripture talks about Lucifer in the book of Isaiah, it's talking about the devil.
Yeah.
But we don't read. So if you have them and you read the book of Isaiah 14, how can the devil die? Because it talks about his burial and stuff. And then it talks about his children. And he said that prepare slaughter for his children's children for the iniquities of their what? Fathers. So it was talking about a man. It was talking about a kingdom. It was talking about a nation. The same as Elohim calls Israel Jacob. Sometimes he calls Israel my chosen one. Sometimes he calls Israel the daughter of Zion. Jerusalem, or sometimes Zion, or sometimes the mountain of Elohim. But because we don't have understanding, once we have, that's why it is, I keep on saying that it is so difficult to be saved in this generation because we have been messed up. This is the main reason why it is essential for you to know where you are coming from, to know that you are the descendant of Jacob, Isaac, and Abraham, that we are the Hebrews. Once you don't get that into your head, then we are doomed for life. And this is what we have been trying to teach people, but people are not willing. Why? Because we love Christianity so much. How can someone who has been shooting you down, telling you that he doesn't want you to be alive on this earth, give you a religion, and then tells you that when you die, you and me we will join hands together in the heavens? But on this earth, he was chasing you with guns and hanging you. But it doesn't go here. Black people are so obsessed with Christianity. You can't touch my you can't touch my religion. But this is the religion that is killing you. So this policeman, he killed our brother, and I saw many of these Christians on Facebook. Oh, we have to pray for him. I'm like, are you mad? Pray for who? Someone is trying to kill you. Are trying to pray for him. And people don't. This is the main reason why Elohim, and that's why he spoke about Isaiah 14, when he talks about, I will have mercy upon Jacob and I will yet choose Israel and set them in their own land, and the strangers shall be joined with them. And then what did Elohim say? He said that, and the people, which means Israel, the Hebrews, they shall take them and bring them to their place. And the house of Israel shall possess them in the land of the living for servants and handmaids. And they shall take them slaves or captives, whose captives or slaves they were, and they shall rule over their oppressors. This is scripture. The same is in the New Testament. When you read the book of Revelations, chapter 13, he who led people into captivity shall go into captivity. But the Christians, our people, don't want to hear this. They are telling you that there is a spirit coming to rapture you into heaven. All of us are going to go into heaven and it will be so peaceful. But no, there's no one verse in the scriptures telling us walking in the heavens with white people and Chinese and whatnot. It doesn't work like that. But you see how they have tricked us? And now they have given us these things about everything you do, blame it on the devil. There's a guy who had the music that blame it on the alcohol, right? It's the same thing. So what that means is that do not accept responsibility. Blame the devil. It's the devil who did it. As long as you don't accept responsibility, then you have no covenant with Elohim.
Wow.
That's why it is very essential to know. So don't waste time on, the devil, and spend time on yourself and read. Because there are so many things that are in the scriptures that people do not want to hear. All that they care about is Elohim is so loving, Elohim is so kind, he loves us. Oh, they say, some of them, Jesus is my husband, I love him. What? And they don't talk about the evil aspect of Elohim. When he gets angry, what he does. When you have to read the book of Isaiah, I think 63 or 64, it talks about who is coming from Edom and stuff. Do you think when Elohim is coming, that Elohim will just come and then the whole world will accept him? It doesn't work like that. These people, they've built their kingdoms. They have weapons of mass destruction. So once he is coming, they will have to go and battle him. So the first thing he does in the book of Isaiah, I think 63, is that when he comes, he goes to Edom, the Western world, to destroy all their technology and slay many of them.
Wow.
But people don't want to hear this, because when you begin to say these things, they think, then you are racist. No, we are not racist. We can never be racist. We don't have the money to be racist.
It takes
but our own people, because I was having a conversation with Brother Chris about the guy they killed in America. And I was telling him, black people, don't trust these black people. Black people are never going to come together to go and fight the white man. We are scared as hell. Black people, we can kill each other. But once you see them what do you even have that you can fight them with? Elohim, who was supposed to be your strength, you have rejected him. Now you are going to fight them with guns, but the guns you are holding, they are the ones who made them. How can you win a battle against someone who gave you a toy?
Who manufactures your weapon?
Who manufactured the weapon you are holding? When the bullets runs out, where are you going to get bullets from?
Spiritual bullet.
So forget about these spiritual things and let's accept reality. Whatever we do, it will have an impact on us. And if the sin we are committing is above, that's why when you read the first book of Romans, right? It says because the heathens, the Romans were wicked, and that they loved men more than they loved women. Once they committed that sin, what did Elohim do? Then he said, then I will now send a spirit that is like a beast upon them so that they will continue to practice these things until I come that I can pronounce judgment on them. So these demon possessions comes as a result of what we did. Because look at David. Now David fornicated, right? Slept with the lady, killed the husband. But the Bible doesn't talk about him being possessed or him being delivered. But he got forgiveness once he accepted that he has sinned against Elohim. And when he wrote chapter 51 of Psalms and spoke about his sins, Elohim didn't mention, and he did not mention any demon possession, which caused him to what? To sin. He accepted the fact that he loved that woman. He saw the shape of that woman, and that drew him to go and sin. And Elohim did forgive him, but he punished him by allowing his son to openly sleep with his wives in Israel and killing most of his sons and daughters. And as a result of that, it was because of the sin that the kingdom of Israel
was
rent into two. It was not because of Solomon, it was because of what his father did. So this is what we will have to accept and forget about, if I sin, then it is a demon. If I do this, it's a demon. And then you have many of these Christians in churches, they can spend 6 hours to pray. And all that they pray is that they pray, but the prayer did not even reach here. Because what I did, I bind, I fight, I throw lightning, I throw this, what are you doing? How can you fight against something you don't see? That's what we have to. How can you fight against something you don't see? But they will tell you believe. This has nothing to do with believing. You've never seen before.
And like to conclude, like the last question that I have for today is like, now that we are, let's say, about to round off and we'll go about our week, we'll continue with our prayers, go to church or the gatherings. Some of us will be fasting, some of us will be praying, whatever. Should we even be mindful of let's say, the spiritual realm and stuff like that? Should we use that in our prayer? Where should we put it within our mind or within our view? What is its place in our life?
Its place in our life is that the mind of Elohim should dwell in us. And when the mind of Elohim dwells in you, you don't think about these things. And all that you know is that if I fail, if I have this, if I fall, if I make it, it is because Elohim has allowed it to be so. So Job, this is why Elohim blessed him. So that's because his friends came around and they were trying to pollute his mind, saying that, no, Job, you must investigate this. There's something behind this.
Is there not a plot?
And Job said that, no, when I was coming into this world, I had nothing. And later on, it is Elohim who blessed me with all these things. So if today I have heard that all of these things have been taken away from me because I did not get my blessings from Elohim, I did not get my blessings from the devil, then it was Elohim who gave it to me. Then if it has been taken away, then the giver is the one who took it. Therefore, he said that in all of these things, he did not sin against Elohim. And he said that it is Elohim who was, and it was Elohim. But if it was in this generation, the pastors would be binding the devil who was sent by Elohim. Would that work? Because the devil who placed the sickness on Job was sent by Elohim. So if you are going to bind the devil, then it means that now you are going against what the ordinance of Elohim. Because he was his messenger. He sent him to do that. So then Elohim came later and said, and Elohim what? Changed everything around Job within a day. Why? Because he has the power to do that. So when you wake up, don't think about demons and witches and who is flying in the night. You don't have eyes to see them. So mind only the things you see on this earth. You have enough trouble on this earth already. And now you're going to mingle yourself with that which you don't see. So believe that Elohim, he does what he likes, trust in him, concentrate on him so that he may help you, and then forget about, never pray and I bind the devil, and don't have time for such things. Because if you waste time on those things, you will see your life, what will become of you. Because you don't have one example in the scriptures of any prophet, any apostle, or any messenger praying against the devil. So where did you get that notion from?
Poison. Poisonous.
Who told you that now you can pray against the devil? You can bind the devil. Someone who was having a coffee break with Elohim.
One-on-one.
When you read the book of Job, chapter 1 from 7, that the sons of Elohim met and Satan was among them. Meaning he is one of the sons of who? Elohim.
Madness.
And when Elohim saw him, Elohim did not send fire to him or say, hey, broke away, loose. Elohim said, what's up, man? And the devil said, what's up? And Elohim asked him, what have you been doing? And they were having a normal conversation. After that, Elohim told him what to go and do. And then no one rejected him from the heaven. He came to the earth and he accomplished the assignment that Elohim gave him. So I tell people that, hey, when it comes to the judgment of the devil, let's leave that to Elohim. When he comes, we will know what he will do. But right now, you can't pronounce any judgment.
You lack the authority. Okay.
So people, you have time, because spiritual things, leave them to Elohim. Let's concentrate on these things. That's why it is very essential for us to know where we are coming from, because we have been taught by the wrong people over the years. People who were supposed to be our enemies taught us, established Bible schools, and then the preachers went to these Bible schools, and now they are teaching us the same nonsense. That you will be raptured and Corona is here. The Christians, the Muslims, we are all suffering. Who was raptured? First World War, who was raptured? Second World War, who was raptured? Huh? We are all here, whether you are Muslim or whatever you believe, it doesn't matter. We are all here. And no one is going to be raptured. We will be here. But they've taught us that you will be raptured and stuff. And then they go and read Matthew 24 and they twist it and we love it. Do you know why we love it? Because no human being wants to suffer. So once you hear those things, then you are happy. Okay, well, that means that I will not be there that before the they call it tribulation or whatever. They have a name for it, or post tribulation.
Pre-tribulation, post-tribulation, all those things.
So you love it. But the scripture says that when these things are happening, those who are in Judea flee.
Run.
Meaning run. He didn't say just wait, I'm going to rapture you. But these people are able to trace the verses, and now most Christians, we believe, oh, we will be raptured and fly away home I'm not flying anywhere. So people, please take your time, and concentrate on Elohim, concentrate on the things you see, and leave the spiritual things for the ones who are spiritual. Things that are revealed unto us, Elohim says that it is for us. The things that are not revealed unto you, Elohim says that they only belong unto him. So don't, because many people, they bother so much about the spiritual. Hey man, what do you mean? Because, how many of you have had a dream and you've seen an angel before, but you claim you see demons? What is wrong with you? How did the demon look like?
What was his name?
What was his name? But because you've been watching these Nigerian horror movies and the Ghanaian horror movies, now you have all of these pictures. And because Elohim uses symbols, whenever you have dreams, then these are the things you are going to see. Let me.
No, okay. Yeah, I don't have any questions anymore. I don't think that anyone else has any more questions, because this is a topic, like, as you said, let spiritual things be handled, or let it be explained, or let the spiritual people handle that. When it comes to salvation, Elohim did not say when you know the rankings of Satan and Archangel,
then you will be saved.
Then you will be saved.
So you have to be holy. That's all.
He said, just be holy, then you will be saved. So people, be holy, be blessed. When you have time, tune in Hour of Restoration. When you have spiritual questions, let the spiritual people deal with that. You don't need to know the rankings of Azazel, Reguel, Sarah to be saved.
Of Fadim, whatnot.
Okay, so this is the conclusion of today's show. Next week we'll have another topic. Stay tuned, stay watching. We'll review what the topic will be during the week. Thank you guys for joining me. Justice, thank you really, really much for the explanation, the insight. It helps people a lot, because changing our perception gives people peace in the heart. You will sleep better. You won't be binding, running.
Just sleep, man. Sleep. Eat and sleep.
Sleep well, sleep well. So people, thank you. Justice, thank you. We see you guys next week. Yeah, by keeping an eye on social media pages. Yeah, we have done these series before. SoundCloud, Hour of Restoration, and Facebook, Hour of Restoration. Thank you. Have a nice, wonderful day.
Shalom.